Heidi ho, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do an overview of the Dirt Road Fabrication Honda Talon bed extender and spare tire carrier. This thing is creme de la creme. First thing I'd like to show you is how they sent it to me. So this thing had a shrink wrap on top, multiple layers. Had to cut it with a knife to get it off, with this blanket on top. As you can see, they packaged the daylights out of this thing with pipe insulation and shrink wrap on the extra parts. Anything that could get nicked has a rubber pad. I put a 1x on the spare tire mount so it won't chip up and dig through the packaging. So we're about to unwrap the rest of this and see what she actually looks like. Yeah, a little bit heavy. She's about 60 pounds. Then you put your tire on the tail end of it. That'll put your weight to the rear. Now this one's got an extra little mesh bottom that I ordered, and I used the order to got it a high mount so that my license plate is still visible. High mount on the tire. There's your logo, Dirt Road Fabrication LLC. So this thing swings open, and then you can put your tire on the tail bracket, and you'll have more room for coolers and tools. So we're gonna unbutton this up, unbutton it. Okay, as you can see, here's the two bars that go from the 4-bolt lower frame area that would go like where your trailer hitch might be, to the bottom of this. And here's the rest of this thing. I didn't take the 1x off yet, but yeah, she's pretty nice. She, like I said, she pivots. I'll open it up in a minute when I can free up a hand. Well packaged. Using a giant Harbor Freight blanket, moving blanket. Got a little bit of hardware here for those brackets that I just showed you that bolt up to the lower part of the machine. And here it is. It's got a quick release, spring-loaded T-handle, heavy-duty hinges. That way you can reach in here to your cooler or tools without having to climb up, since the Talon is quite high off the ground, and mine's even higher than stock. I'm 2-inch lift with the oversized tires, 32s, give me another 2, so a total of 4 more inches off the ground. So I'm gonna see what this hardware bag has in it. Looks like just basic 4 bolts, washers, nuts. Let's see if I can see what these do. Okay, instructions are at dirtroadfabrication.com. And here's my hardware. And we had a packing slip here, but I don't think it's got anything in it as far as instructions go. I mean, it can't be that difficult, but I might as well go online and check it out. All right, here's one of the lower bars. It bolts up to the 4-bolt area by the trailer hitch bolts, and I would imagine this goes right there. There's one on either side. I may have a clearance issue because I have 2 stacked mufflers that I showed in a previous video, so I'll have to see if that's going to clear. Now the hitch might have a bracket in the way. I'll have to check that out. But I think it's going to fit around the muffler. It'll be close, but I think it's going to fit. Heidi ho there. Yeah, well, it's a new day. I'm still waiting on parts. Let me show you what we got going. So my Talon had a trailer hitch on it. It's got these braces and gusset braces there, so I had to reverse the bolts around, take this off, because the support, the lower supports for the spare tire carrier go in those holes. And so I ordered a new hitch without that gusset in the way, where I could just drill a hole through, hopefully flat metal, but it's been delayed today. So anyway, we're gonna see what we can figure out. According to the directions, the one with the 2 dimples is on the right, and the one with the single dimple is going to be on the left, which is driver's side. So I'll have to modify this muffler because it's going to hit, and I believe this is going to go higher than that. So I guess I'm going to the muffler shop at some point. For now, I'm going to loosen it and see what we got. You can see this thing's pretty heavy and heavy duty. You know, the upper clamps put in 2 screws each side, nice and loose. Just a few threads. These are on with a few threads. Those are on with a few threads. We're going to see if we can make this muffler clear. It's going to be tight. I think I can pivot it out of the way and re-drill my flange holes and make this thing sit in there. Gonna be a little snuggisky. Do that or replace the main muffler with my fluted chamfered muffler, which is the last ditch effort. But I'm trying. Some people like noise. I don't like noise. I'm old. I like nice and quiet, so that's why I got 2 mufflers. The last pack and the OEM muffler. At this point, I'm waiting on Amazon to deliver that hitch that I think will work. If it doesn't work, I have to cut this off and grind this triangle down on the end, and then a hole would have to be drilled about in that area to facilitate these support bolts. All right, it's a new day. Good after 1 p.m. We finally got our part in. Let me show you what we got going. Okay, Honda Talon Extreme Max. Sticker's upside down, so it's upside down in my hand. So what I did was I marked the white spots on the rear, wherever that is. I'll show you how I did that. Got the 4 studs coming out, well, actually the bolts, but you can only see the threads. And what I did was I painted this one with some house paint, white, dipped it in the bucket. You could use just about anything, I guess, caulking or whatever. So I set this bad boy on there like so, all the way, and then ran this in from the back side to mark my spot. Now the bolts they give you are shorties. They only grab half of this. Well, I just lost it, but I poked it through, and it made a hole that is made a mark through this hole. So I'm not going to use a bolt all the way through because of the there's a hollow here and there's no spacer, so it'll just collapse that. We don't want to collapse that. They gave us some short screws. Now here's the old hitch, and I made a mark on it right there, and this one, that mark will come right out on that triangle, and I'll have to grind half of that away, which will no longer allow me a place to hook safety chains if I need them, or very minimal. Probably have to erase most of that, yeah, down to nothing. So I didn't want to do that, so that's why I got this other hitch from Amazon. All right, so next step is to do a center punch, pin punch, and make a mark on these holes and drill them out. So here's the pin punch I use. It's an old Craftsman. Nice hard steel. Use my little baby hammer. I made my center as best I could, hopefully. I'm gonna get my cobalt tapered bit and start drilling. To do it the right way, using oil. You want to use oil. Oil is your friend. Can't use too much. Just wipe it off when you're done. And this cobalt tapered bit from Harbor Freight, cut that like butter. At any rate, lucky and my idea worked. The holes lined up perfectly. I do have a problem though. The new hitch, even though it has surface area that will work out good for my idea, they put a bend in it right here, so the bend should have been down here somewhere, and then that would have been a flat piece. I think I can still make it work. I don't see another option at this point, because even the old, as you can see, the old one had the bend in the wrong spot too, as far as they pretty much made it perpendicular to the receiver on both hitches, so gonna have that wrong angle on that tab, but we'll see if we can bolt it up, tighten it up, see what happens. So in order to facilitate a different angle, we're putting nuts on both sides of the hitch on the lower mount bolts. We'll see what that does. If she's way off now, unfortunately, we are not even close to the correct angle of attack. So yeah, I just can't seem to get what I want. This thing is just not the right angle, and we need bevels on the bolt head side, and the spacer, which is too thick at this point anyway, and that's a piece of aluminum tubing, which I could make smaller, I guess. Not fun. Okay, here's what I decided to do. I put a relief cut in the tab, 50% cut. Where is it? Oh my gosh, there it is. And bent it with a hammer, using an anvil and a 3-pound sledger. Put a thick washer, aluminum washer I had for something else, saved behind it. That would give me even more angle. And yeah, now she bolts up. It's a miracle. And we have plenty of, well, it will rock either way without it binding, but it does fit either side of those tabs, will go either way. So I'm gonna make another one. What I might end up doing is going to my weld shop, since I don't have a welder, and probably should, but put a bead of weld in the relief crack that I made. But anyway, we'll continue to work on this thing. These things are supplied with these button head Allens, and of course we got an angle on the hitch and then a different angle on the sheet metal frame, and rather than crushing the frame, I'm just putting the button head on the hitch itself rather than bending daylights out of the frame that I don't want to do and damage that. And there's plenty of room behind there, and then I can still stick an Allen wrench in there to hold it so it doesn't spin free. So, two pretty close to the proper bend. Like I said, relief cut. I'll whack on a 3-pound with a anvil, 3-pound sledge. Good afternoon. It's a new day. It's Sunday. We worked on this. I say we, it was I, with supervision from Kyle. 7 hours yesterday. We showed you the relief cuts in the metal, and let me show you some more stuff. So, didn't film this, but I re-drilled 3 holes in the flange for the exhaust so that I could pivot it and put it in the gap of the triangle that the new support tubes made and maintain my dual mufflers for basically trying to keep this thing quiet in the neighborhood so I can go down the street without anybody calling on me, even though I do have a plate. It's off-road. We got the 4 screws in. They're not tight yet. We made a mark over here, which I'm going to have to touch up. Actually got more than one mark. I don't know if there's much you can do about that. I mean, you know, I was able to snake my wires in the corner here. Like I said, the relief cut that I showed you yesterday seems to be matching up pretty good. Don't know why my bolts are different lengths. That is even more strange to me. I guess one was shorter than the other, because that one has a couple threads showing. This one has 0 threads showing, and I don't know why. Makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. I could probably try to find another bolt if I want. I knew this bolt was longer because I bought that after the fact when I ruined one. Even though it's rated the same company, it's a little bit longer. Anyway, I'm gonna put the tire on here and see what she looks like. Okay, so this is the end result. We didn't put all the screws in, but I've got the tire mounted. It's to the rear. The weight's to the rear. Lots of room for coolers and tools. And I got to tighten some hardware up on, put a couple more screws in on these clamps and make sure they're at the correct height. I do some paint touch up. I have some Rust-Oleum and a mat that should match. And the weight is now at the rear of the vehicle. Makes it longer, but it's out of the way. You still see the license plate. And you can still see my lights, my turn signals, and all that good stuff. Again, if anybody else has a better idea, I'd be more than welcome for the comment. I'm always up to doing mods as we go, and if I don't like something, I'll redo it. So again, thanks for watching. And please feel free to thumbs up, like, share, and more importantly, subscribe to give me some YouTube credit for my efforts. And happy Sunday to you, and God bless.